Picture this: you're immersed in work or in any online activity, and all of a sudden your power goes out or the internet fails, and you're forced to all of a sudden be offline. Hi, welcome back to Prepared and Sustainable Living. I'm Karen, and today I would like to talk with you about emergency preparedness, especially what to do if you're getting offline. Last week I was walking home to the bus station from school, and I was looking on my phone, and I bet that's like this for everybody else too. Sorry, the dog wanna have some attention really bad. And I bet everybody else has that too. I was going through my phone and was looking. I had an app for the bus. I had an app for all my contacts. I have an app for shopping, for recipes, for notes taking, for business, for weather, for everything. And if we don't have it on our phone, we have it as an electronic paper on the laptop. And those are now later got kind of our brains instead of using our brains. So what if then all of a sudden disappear? What if we don't have access anymore to all those apps and to all those recipes and contacts? What if we don't have our second brain anymore? All of a sudden we have to cook without. Can you make dinner without having to look up what to make? Can you give an address or phone number without looking it up in your phone? You might have kids. Can you entertain them a whole day without turning insane? Without TV, without gaming console, without apps? It made me clear when I was looking on those apps I'm having on there, and I have a lot of them. I am lost. If I have no apps anymore and no laptop anymore, I don't have any notes. I only have a few books in paper. I have most of my recipes and ideas on my phone. My not only my content idea, but also my personal idea, that medicinal herbs I want to create, the tinctures, the foraging stuff on it, to forage and make stuff out of it, and all the experiments I'm planning on doing sooner or later. It's all there. And we need to start realizing that we might have to be able from time to time to be without. And to be honest, I might have two numbers I know. If we still can use a phone, I will be able to call my mom because I have her number. I don't even know my boyfriend's number or mine. I maybe have two addresses in my head, but that's it. I wouldn't even probably not even have the name of my school on my phone or in my hand. I have my address. I would have my parents' address. I probably could remember my brother's address, and that's about it. Everything else is on my phone. We've unlearned to be able to exist without our second brain, and we unlearned to be not dependent on all that really nice electronic devices that make our life so much easier. Which brings me to my next topic, the reasons why we could be forced to be offline. There are many different reasons that can provide us with either no internet or no power or no both. So let's dive into some of that ideas. Let's imagine you're just about to make dinner and all of a sudden the light turn on and the TV is off, the phone is off. That's my first reason for being prepared as power outage. You all of a sudden stay there with no power. Can you make dinner? The second reason are natural disasters. There are a lot of different natural disasters that happen. Depending on your area. You can, for example, have hurricanes or tornadoes. We don't have them normally here, but some areas do. Or earthquakes. They can damage power lines for a while. Or what about floods? Floods normally stay for a while. They normally don't disappear in an hour or two like a power outage. You can be stuck in your house for a while with no access to grocery or power. Or think of last year's Christmas with all those snow and ice storms we had, and a decent part of the US was without power for a while because of the minus 30 degrees and all that ice and snow. The power lines only can take that much ice before they stop working. And then we can be stuck for quite a while with no power because it normally is a big area that's having trouble. Another reason for being offline are cybersecurity concerns. Those are getting more and more in the last couple of years. People are trying to get into your data. They're trying to breach your data and sell them. And then it's sometimes just the safest way to be offline for a while. Data breach, not only for sale, can also cause identity theft. If they have your data, they can use it for whatever they want. They can be you on the internet. So sometimes it's just safer to be offline. Another option would be that the hacker hacks a store, for example, and you can't use the register anymore to check out. Or, I don't know, I hope it's not actually really possible, but maybe they can hack a power company and the whole city or town is out of power until they solve that problem. Technical issues can be a real frustration and can have many causes. You're, for example, just working and your laptop crashes. Could be because there's an error message or it just dies and it's not going to start anymore. It's too old and doesn't work. Or your phone dies either because it's just not working anymore. You dropped it, maybe in a pond, or it just has no battery anymore, and you're all of a sudden without. Or the router turns off. Maybe just because there's no internet connection. Maybe there's a bigger reason behind it. Remote living is another reason. Even though normally more voluntarily. A lot of my audience likes to be outside in the nature and outdoors, and then you're sometimes just off the grid or don't have no connection, which can be searched because it can give you a break from the digital world. It can give you some air, some space to enjoy another connection than the internet connection. But you need to be prepared for that. Maybe have some offline maps, some paper maps, or a GPS tracker or something. Lastly, scheduled maintenance can be a reason to be offline too. They might just fix something up, whatever it is. You might have a computer update that's gonna run for the next 5 hours. Well, an update normally is not taking that long, but if you set up a new system, it can take quite a while. Probably we're all there before. Or they fix a power line that came down, which can get you no power for quite a while. There are a lot of reasons to just be aware that if we could be able to be without power for a while. That brings me on the topic of the importance of preparedness. It's important to just have a plan. You might have kids, and all of a sudden you stay here with a whole day, no power. There's no TV. There's no gaming. Can you entertain your kids a whole day without turning insane? Or eating. The power is off. Can you make yourself some dinner? You can't order nothing because the app's not working. The fridge might have turned off. Can you still make dinner? Do you have an option to cook if your stove is electric? Or getting water to cook? You see, having a plan is important because our real essential needs are gone once the power or the internet or whatever is down and forced to be off. We just had it last winter when Buffalo had a power outage for a long time because of all that snow. We were offline at home once for a whole day as well. Things like that. You can say now, well, it's just a day. Yes, that's true. But a day can be long if you have nothing. Or what happens if you lose the power in the winter and there's no heat? And it's maybe like last winter, minus 30 degrees. There are not enough blankets in the world to keep you warm enough then. You need to come up with a plan. It brings me to the chapter of tips for staying productive. In offline scenarios, staying productive is a vital thing to make the most out of the time and the situation you're in. So, what can we do to stay productive? One of the first things I can think of is use physical resources. An effective strategy is to have physical resources at hand. A box where you can look things up, recipe cards and an address book as backups where you can have a look on it. Your notes and your most important business details and your really important personal documents in paper form in a place where you know where it is when you need it can be crucial to make the best out of a situation like that, especially in our real digital world today. The second one is offline friendly apps. There are a bunch of apps that don't need an internet connection. There are note taking apps and offline maps you can use during internet downtime. But be aware that's only if just the internet's down. If the power is off, you can't use your phone too long. Sooner or later, the battery is gonna drain. So it might be an option to have a look into it, but don't rely only on that. Another thing is to prioritize. Focus on essential activities can be really important in that time. Something that needs your immediate attention. Be aware offline does mean a lot of things take longer. I know this is more a little bit of an educational video, but I think it's really important. And before we wrap up that video, I would like to give you the key messages I have in that topic. Again, before we go into discussing together, let's really quick recap what offline scenarios. Let's real quick recap what offline scenarios we had and how we do prepare for being forced offline. We talked about how important it is to stay productive and having still some activities, even though what we normally call activities in modern days is not available anymore. So what's important for me is that you understand what areas, what sources you have that could force you to be offline. We don't have hurricanes here. We hardly have tornadoes. I don't think they have earthquakes here neither. So that's not that much of a problem for me. The people in California and Florida probably don't have that much of a problem with ice storms. So check what problems could be in your area. That's going to be important for a lot of emergency preparedness things and topics we're going to strive for in the future. Think about what kind of things you are using. We talked about using physical books, using recipe cards, having some offline activities ready if you have family for the kids too. Maybe some crafting supplies at hand. If the power's out, there's no store neither, so we should have these things at hand in advance. We don't have power, no internet, there's no register gonna work, so we are pretty much dependent on what we already have. Have some offline activities ready. If you're forced to be off, you can't just go online and look up where you could go. Do you have a map? Do you have some local activity options available and know what you can do with your family when you don't have nothing at home you can do? You might not be able to go to work if there's a bigger area off, because most of our jobs rely on computer and power as well. So you have time to spend with your family and want to think about what you could do in that time. I think it was last week, I shared the quote, "Prepare for the worst, hope for the best." Prepare for the worst means get an emergency kit ready. If you're offline for a longer period of time, you can go in a store. Do you have food? Do you get water out of in your kitchen without power? Probably not. We have well water, and without power, the pump is not going to work. Do you have enough medicine at home if, for example, the stores and the doctors are closed for a while because the electronic doors don't work anymore neither? That are, I think, the most important key points for me. And I would like to know yours. What do you think is important to prepare for an off-grid situation? What ideas do you have for creative ways to get offline what we have online, to get in paper what you have on a computer? Share your experience and your ideas, as creative as it can be, in the comments and in the community. And I would like to grow together with you to a more prepared and sustainable future. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being back. I see you on the next video. Stay prepared and sustainable.